You've probably been in this situation before. You're leading a project, the team is motivated, the goals are clear, but you're stuck in a planning meeting. Weeks go by and the questions keep circling. Are we ready yet? When can we go? Even worse, it's your boss or their boss asking the question. Now, most managers don't fail because they plan too little. They actually fail because they plan too long. Today, we're going to talk about how to know when enough planning is enough and how to move with confidence into action. My name's Marcel. I'm a chartered manager with over 20 years of getting that tricky balance just right, or at least on most occasions. I know that planning feels safe and you get to talk through scenarios, anticipate risks, and it gives that illusion of control. But there's a hidden danger here: paralysis by analysis. You end up unable to progress, even, or rather because, you ponder a lot. You start chasing the perfect plan, trying to answer every what if before anything begins. And here's the truth: no plan survives first contact with reality. The unknowns don't disappear in the meeting room. They reveal themselves only once you take action. So how do you know when you've done enough planning? One practical rule of thumb is the 80% rule. If you've covered around 80% of the big stuff, the major risks, the dependency, the resources, then you're ready to move. And the last 20%, that only shows up in execution. You can't plan for it in advance. Think of it like learning to swim. You can read the manual, watch videos, practice motions on land, but at some point you have to get in the water. That's when the real learning happens. Another way to check yourself is to watch for the signals of overplanning. Are your meetings becoming repetitive? Are people raising the same concerns but in different ways? Is the team reluctant to commit to the timeline? Do you find yourself waiting for just one more piece of information over and over again? If nothing new is being uncovered, you're spinning wheels. That's the moment to cut the discussion short and decide. Here's a question I ask myself when I'm unsure. Is it riskier to wait longer and plan more, or to start now and just adjust? This is the balance between the cost of delay and the cost of mistake. If it's a low stakes project, the cost of mistake is typically small. Better to act quickly now, learn fast and adjust. Now, if it's a high stake and irreversible, like signing a legal agreement or making a public announcement that affects brand reputation, then extra planning makes sense. The art of management is knowing which side of the scales you're on. Another useful framework is to see your plan as a hypothesis. It is not a script to follow perfectly. It's a testable guess about what will, what might work. Execution is the experiment, and feedback loops are how you improve. When you think this way, you stop trying to build the perfect plan up front. Instead, you aim for a good enough starting point and design a strong feedback mechanism in the meantime. As a manager, your job isn't to design every detail of your plan. Your job is to set the direction, make trade-offs, because typically there are some, and make them visible, and give the team confidence to move forward. Your team doesn't need you to have every answer. They need you to help them move past the uncertainty and take the first step. Leadership is about momentum as much as it's about foresight. Ultimately, the reason why you employed your team is because you trust them. You trust them to find solutions, so give them a chance to do so. Finally, I use what I call the decision horizon check. Ask yourself, if the information I'm waiting for arrived tomorrow, would it change my decision? If yes, keep planning until that information arrives. If no, then you're just delaying for comfort, not for clarity, and that's your signal to act now. So here's the framework in simple steps. Number 1, accept that no plan will be perfect. Execution reveals the truth. Number 2, once you've covered 80% of the essentials, you're ready. 3, watch for signs of overplanning like repetitive meetings. 4, weigh the cost of delays against the cost of mistake. 5, treat plans as hypotheses and execution as experiments. 6, remember your job is to provide direction and momentum, not every detail. 7, use the decision horizon test. Will new info change the decision? If not, move. The hardest part of management isn't making a perfect plan. It's knowing when the plan is good enough to start. If planning adds clarity, keep going, by all means. If it only adds comfort, stop and act. The managers who move forward, even without all the answers, are typically the ones that create progress. Those who wait for perfect certainty never leave the room. So the next time you're wondering whether to keep planning or to act, ask yourself, have I done enough? to move confidently into execution. Because leadership is about progress, not perfection.